Hey, this is Miller Rhodes, beaming to you from an undisclosed location tonight. I didn't want to not make my video, and it's kind of funny. I was starting to make my video, and I had some new neighbors show up, and the guys who were helping them, who were going to help them move, they sort of abandoned them. So I went over and I just got done helping them move this couch and move their bed in and everything. And the guy wanted to give me some kind of tip, but I didn't take it because that's what neighbors do. We help one another out. And although there's a book I'm reading that says that we should be good at receiving, like say I drank beer and he offered me a beer, well, I probably would have taken that. But or maybe he had just baked a roast or something. Okay, well, maybe I would have taken a plate of roast or something. But for something like that, I didn't want him to feel like that he should have to pay me for doing something that I just wanted to do and made me feel good doing it. Now, what's really on my mind tonight is that today I took my wife to get an alternative treatment for her thyroid. And as it turns out, there's a place we're going to go that was recommended to us up in Dallas that treats that. There's so many people today who suffer with hypo and hyperthyroidism, all sorts of thyroid disorders, and we're kind of alternative health nuts. So I go and get treatments, something called neuromuscular therapy. I had this pain in my back because I drove for about 16 hours when we went to Mississippi a few weeks ago. And it just wouldn't go away. I kept getting these chair massages and everything, and that pain in my back, it just wouldn't go away. So I went to this guy, Tom. He's my neuromuscular therapist. And they do what's called trigger point therapy. Now, I think it's a little bit more complicated than that, but he got me all squared away. My back feels good. It was real tight, and what's funny is your muscles can be really tight and you'll feel really tired and you won't even be able to tell. But Tom told us that there were these treatments, which might sound kind of hokey, for your thyroid. And my wife, she's just been struggling, waking up, has no energy, joint pain, and all this crazy stuff that can happen to people who have what are called autoimmune disorders. Diabetes is an autoimmune. People with fibromyalgia, that's an autoimmune. Thyroid disorders, all sorts of autoimmune disorders. And I know we're not talking about making money, but what we're talking about is life. And I got my wife this treatment today, and she was so happy because even though the treatment seemed a little hokey, it was actually quite effective. She had a little bit more energy afterwards. She felt better. And it's real cutting edge. It's not a so-called, FDA approved treatment, but it was completely non-invasive and safe. And if you're a little bit open-minded and maybe even a little desperate, or not desperate, but determined, then you're willing to try things. And so when it comes to making money online, when it comes to your health, we should all be willing to explore a little bit. Because even though most things that seem too good to be true there are some things that seem too good to be true which actually turn out to be pretty freaking real. And it's been my experience that that's the way it is, that there's some things that I found that just plain worked. If you had told me in the beginning that, hey, that this does this, I wouldn't have believed you. So I just want to leave you with that tonight, and you have a nice evening.